This presentation explains how parabolic involutes are tracked on Metastock, and in this regard, parabolic involutes are applied to Alphabet Google stock. As a first step, the Alphabet Google stock page on Metastock open on full screen and the window of volume not interested in this purpose is removed. To begin with, it is important to fix the manual scale of the axis of value that in the case in question we bring from 0 to $200. And for a better reading of the graph, we also remove the vertical grid, and also for the consideration that we are going now to expose, we limit the observation period from 20.5 to 2022. Once this arrangement of the screen is finished, we load the function of the parabolic involutes generation add-on entitled Cantore Parabolic Involutes, which is present in the same way as any other metastock algorithm analysis function. It is presented on the basis of default values for the parabolic involutes are the coordinates of the 3 points on which it must pass on the Cartesian plane. To verify the effectiveness expressed by the parabolic involutes on the Alphabet Google stock, we are going to place the data of the 3 points of tangency on date of our interest, and for example for the first point we choose March 7, 2014 and write 307014, where the first number 3 indicates the month of March, 07 indicates the 7th day of the month, and 014 indicates the year 2014. For the second point, we choose January 26, 2018, and finally for the 10th point, we choose February 8, 2021. Once these parameters have been assigned, we just click on OK, we automatically obtain the parabolic involutes perfectly transiting on the 3 selected points of tangency. To better understand the usefulness expressed by the parabolic involutes, let's reduce the time extension of the graph and also reduce the vertical width on the value axis from 0 to $160. As with any metastock function, we can customize the parabolic involutes that we have traced, making it green, for example, as well as we can customize the 3 vertical segments, indicating the 3 points of tangency, by making them green, red, and blue, and with the OK command we have the desired representation of the parabolic involute of our interest. The add-on contemplates 3 different ways of tracing the parabolic involutes, operating with the tracing mode with the number 1. In the last window of the button, we have the parabolic involutes visible on Metastock. Choosing the number 2, we have the indication of the level of the 3 transit points on the same. Finally, choosing the number 3, we have both indications. It is the data of the 3 points of tangency and the relative levels. On a practical level and with some knowledge of the Corrado parabolic involutes add-on, it is useful to have only the parabolic involutes on the screen plus the three vertical segments indicating the 3 points of its tangency, and in this regard you choose default option number 1. On Metastock we are beginning to see an interesting aspect of the function exiled by the parabolic involutes in terms of support provided here during 2021 on the occasion of the corrective attempts of the Alphabet Google stock. But for a better articulated perception of the medium-term evolution of the Alphabet Google stock, we now trace a second parabolic involute, which we want to draw parallel to the first in order to determine a parabolic channel. The second parabolic involute transits on the data that I am entering and that I am not commenting on, and here we have a new parabolic involute rather parallel to the first, which to better see it in contrast with the first we make it red. The parabolic channel created with the two parabolic involutes define in a very effective graphic way the actual evolution of the alphabet stock, which has been affected in its involutes both by the red support parabolic involute, which in its evolution has formed a situation of resistance, and the green one, which, as we have already seen, in a later period following its violation is formed a support. In its temporal evolution, it is interesting to take note of the fact that the attempt to recover the Alphabet Google stock has again been affected by the presence of lower parabolic involutes, and equally interesting is the fact that in more recent time, and now we bring the scale of value from 0 to $200, the Google stock has been affected by the presence of the two parabolic involutes, attesting what I call the principle of long memory of parabolic involutes. In the period of strong growth recorded by Alphabet Google stock from 2014 to 2018, it is interesting to further improve its interpretation by resorting a third parabolic involute, which we make it pass through the point 2018, 2020, 2021, and with the click of the OK it appears on the video. Here it is, starting from this important low found in 2020 on the occasion of the coronavirus pandemic. This new parabolic involute has interpreted the evolution of the stock in a quite interesting and accurate way, and to better read it, let's make it different color from the previous one. Let's make in blue. However, we note that in these two circumstances, the parabolic involute has not been absolutely rigorous in the interpretation of the minimum, and to improve this aspect, we can arrange a slight repositioning of the second point downward, acting on the fourth window, and we apply it by $5, and therefore, on the basis of these 3 points so partially remodulated, let's see how effectively the parabolic involutes as well interpreted the evolution of the Alphabet Google stock, and as signaled with high rigor the exhaustion of the positive phase on this period, and therefore has provided us with the interesting graphical reading of the dynamic recorded by the stock in this period. We can create a second parabolic involute on this point to create a parabolic channel and then first identify the point of its tangency on which the first fall on November 5, 2018, the second we take the high fall on July 13, 2020, and finally for the last we take the high of April 28, 2021. For ease of reading, we make these parabolic involutes a new color, aquamarina, and therefore we can clearly perceive how, since the low of 2020 during the coronavirus pandemic, the growth of Alphabet Google stock has been very rigorous within this parabolic channel. If we want, we can further improve its representation by applying, for example, a rising of the third point by $2, by intervening on the fifth window, and similarly we try to rise the second point in the fourth window, and here we have a new parabolic channel is absolutely perfect. What we have seen so far is the representation of the involutes of the new Alphabet Google stock with not linear graphic analysis method, and now we move to the further improvement of the same analysis by resorting the graphical algorithmic analysis method, which use a RSI indicator that we are going to place in a window at the bottom of the chart. Metastock offered the classic RSI indicator in 14 sessions, but we deleted it and applied a new method of parabolic involutes, which the Cantore RSI Parabolic Involutes add-on. Similarly to what was necessary for the definition of the vertical width of the financial market, similarly it is necessary to fix the manual scale of the window of the RSI indicator in order to avoid these annoying lines. We apply a scale ranging from a minimum of 20 to a maximum of 80. And by default the Metastock add-on offer a first parabolic involute traced on the chart of RSI indicator with a frequency of 72 sessions, placed in the last window at the bottom, which can obviously be modified at will be by the analysis who use this method of graphical algorithmic analysis. The presentation of the parameter of this parabolic involute is similar to the first, and for convenience we are going to immediately fix the 3 point considered by the author to be particularly important before 2014, 2019 and 2020, and the function of the add-on Cantore RSI Parabolic Involute, instead of reading the price at the end of the day of the stock, read the value of the RSI indicator. Let's also customize the parabolic involutes And here we begin to see some important aspect of the graphical algorithmic analysis method. For example, for the formation of a bullish pullback on this parabolic involutes, but the tracing of parabolic channel highlight some very important aspect related on one hand to the formation of good support by RSI indicator on these parabolic involutes throughout the period of growing of the stock, and the contextuality of violation of parabolic involutes by RSI indicator right near to record by the stock. A new height was subsequently reached. Then we can better see in this way the new high as formed on the stock was to be read in a context of bending trend of the RSI indicator, and consequently was a signal that indicate the absolute need to close the longer position at the violation of the blue parabolic involute support. From what has been illustrated, the effectiveness of the graphic algorithmic analysis is well perceived, i.e., the signaling synergy provided by parabolic involutes traced on the chart of the stock and those plot on the chart of the RSI indicator. Many other considerations can be made, but for the moment it is considered useful to close here the presentation of the parabolic involutes trading at home on MetaStock chart and on the chart of this indicator. Regard, Corrado.